According to sources, NAPO Afenyo-Markin, former Energy Minister Afenyo-Markin, former ECG board chairman, and other high-ranking politicians and government officials are the key suspects in one of Ghana's most outrageous, heartbreaking, and devastating corruption scandals. One that centers around the mysterious disappearance of hundreds of electricity company of Ghana ECG containers, with values soaring into the hundreds of millions of dollars. Ghana AI News is here to give you every bone-chilling detail surrounding their alleged involvement in this shocking scandal. It's not just a scandal, it is a national disgrace, a betrayal so deep it wounds the spirit of every patriotic Ghanaian. At the center of it all is not only the disappearance of containers, but also the utter breakdown of oversight, accountability, and integrity in our public institutions. The actions, or rather inactions, of those in power reflect a calculated intent to loot, deceive, and exploit. When the new Patriotic Party, NPP, handed over power to the National Democratic Congress, NDC, the incoming administration led by John Jinapor, newly appointed Energy Minister, received transition documents that revealed ECG had about 3,000 containers stationed at the ports.
Contrary to the 2,500 figure that was given when we got to the port, 1,300 containers and over could not be accounted for, which means they were missing. Let me put on record that these things have been happening since 2019. And as you can see for yourself, based on where we went, it's a syndicate that has been operating for some years now. As minister, I've taken a decision to break this syndicate.
However, those same documents suspiciously mentioned only 300 containers, while port authorities confirmed records of 2,491. Jinapor, rightly alarmed by this inconsistency, called for an investigation to determine the actual number of containers. And what was discovered was nothing short of a national tragedy. Only 1,134 containers could be traced. That means 1,347 containers have vanished without a trace. Each ECG container is worth approximately $500,000. Multiply that by 1,347 and you're staring at a staggering $673.5 million gone missing, money that could build new power plants, repair broken transformers, and bring stable electricity to millions of homes and businesses. But instead, it's been spirited away, swallowed by the dark underbelly of political greed. This isn't just theft. It's an open wound on the conscience of Ghana. Before 2022, ECG had a dedicated fund to clear their imported goods from the port. That fund mysteriously disappeared. Their excuse? Lack of funds. Yet, contractors were still being paid in full the moment they presented a bill of lading, without ECG even verifying if the goods were shipped, cleared, or even real. Imagine the recklessness. ECG does not inspect the goods. It does not verify delivery. It simply pays contractors once documentation is presented. Whether the container exists or not, ECG pays. And if ECG fails to clear the containers in time, they're charged demurrage, an additional cost which further bleeds the institution dry. So now imagine hundreds of containers on demurrage, unattended to, rotting while the nation suffers. Even worse, the person in charge of these high-value shipments wasn't even qualified for the job. According to John Jinapor, the responsibility fell to the Director of Estate, not the Director of Procurement as it should have. This kind of incompetence, or rather intentional misplacement, is only possible in an environment corrupted to the core. That person should never have been anywhere near such a critical task. But, as always, political connections trump competence. Let's not forget, this rot happened under the leadership of Matthew Opoku Prempeh, NAPO, the Energy Minister at the time.
The ECG, I think, said that the amount of money that they intend to collect or has not been paid over a certain period was over 5 billion. I would like to know when they finish the program.
What's even more scandalous is that during the 2024 elections, the NPP desperately needed a vice presidential candidate who could inject $35 million into the campaign. And guess who stepped up? NAPO. He allegedly provided that $35 million, securing his position as Bawumia's running mate. But now ask yourself, where did he get that kind of money? He was not an industrialist, not a global investor, not a mogul. He was a government minister. And all this happened during the same period when ECG lost billions of CDs and containers, worth over $700 million, disappeared. Is it a coincidence? Or is it a confirmation of our worst fears, that public office is no longer a place to serve, but a shortcut to unimaginable wealth? Meanwhile, Afenyo-Markin, the former board chairman of ECG, publicly admitted that he knew corruption was rife within ECG. He said he was aware, yet he did nothing.
How come containers at the ports, containers that have arrived, the bureaucracy at our ports, they say the containers are missing. Mr. Speaker, it is true that when these containers come, there is some connivance with some customs officials, and they sell these containers, these cables that ECG needs after the supplier has been paid. They sell the container and then people resell back to ECG. Are we pretending we don't know? Instead of us to pay attention and kill the rots, then we come here, then MPP, NDC.
If that doesn't scream complicity, I don't know what does. How can a board chairman who swears an oath to uphold good governance admit to knowing about corruption and stay silent? He was not just a silent observer, he was part of the machine. Now let's talk numbers. In 2023, ECG was originally expected to procure goods worth just 9 million CDs. But by the end of the year, that figure had ballooned to 8.3 billion CDs. From 9 million to 8.3 billion. That's not just inflation, that's outright financial madness. Where did the additional billions go? Why did ECG spend thousands of times more than was initially budgeted? And yet, after all this theft, ECG has the audacity to raise electricity tariffs for the suffering Ghanaian. Meanwhile, stolen ECG cables and high-grade electrical materials are being sold off as scrap.
Okay, they have only packed rims here, but they only have the rims on top, but under forward. And yesterday we have to take some off to expose the side.
Are we expected to believe no government official is aware? This is an institution with multiple board members, internal auditors, and government liaisons. Yet these materials vanish daily. Even Dubik Mahama, a former ECG director, resigned suddenly. Some say it was his way of distancing himself from the rot before the explosion. Others suggest he was silenced or threatened. Either way, it paints a picture of internal chaos and cover-up. He too owes Ghanaians an explanation. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, released their audit on ECG's financials for 2024. And what they found should shake the very foundations of this country. The audit uncovered that ECG underdeclared over 5.3 billion CDs in revenue. According to their financial records, ECG collected 15.8 billion CDs, but they only reported 10.4 billion to the Cash Waterfall Mechanism, CWM. This means 5.3 billion CDs simply vanished from official books. What's worse? Out of the declared 10.4 billion CDs, ECG only disbursed 6.5 billion CDs to relevant stakeholders. That leaves another 3.9 billion CDs completely unaccounted for. If you've ever cleared even a single car from the port, then you understand the amount of paperwork, signatures, customs duty, security clearance, and port authority oversight required. So for over 1,300 containers to disappear without a trace. There is only one explanation. National security was involved. They either helped orchestrate the theft or they looked the other way. Either way, they are not innocent. And now, in a desperate bid to protect the real criminals, Chinese nationals are being scapegoated, blamed for a scandal that was clearly engineered and executed by Ghana's own elite. Let's stop pretending. Chinese nationals don't have the authority to clear hundreds of containers at our ports. The real criminals are local, seasoned Ghanaian politicians, ECG executives, port officials, and yes, members of national security. If President Mahama truly wants to reset Ghana, this is his chance. He must go after the perpetrators with everything the law allows. If he fails to act, if these criminals go unpunished, then Ghana may forever remain a nation held hostage by political mafias and looters. This is no longer just a news story. This is a call for justice. Every missing container is a wound. Every stolen CD is a missed opportunity. Every corrupt official who walks free is a mockery of our democracy. Ghanaians are tired. We are broken, but not defeated. We want justice. We deserve justice. And we will not be silent. Subscribe to Ghana AI News, your home for unfiltered truth, fearless investigations, and the bold voice that speaks for the voiceless. We will keep watching. We will keep asking questions, and we will never stop until every thief is exposed and every CD is accounted for.